If you thought Shen was quite a criminal, wait until you see what the other villains of Kung Fu Panda caused throughout the Valley of Peace, from genocide to war crimes. So let's get started. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, and leave a like to let us know if you're enjoying it. Tai Lung, or beloved Chinese Tony the Tiger, was trained to be the best, but Master Shifu had no idea his little boy would turn into a deranged old man. The little kitten who used to like milk now likes blood and revenge. One of the first and greatest crimes Tai Lung committed was fueled by his hatred. He destroyed one of China's magical villages, including all the taco and lemonade stands, blew away all the piggies' fake Snickers, and even left several missing. This gives them the crimes of mass murder and destruction of property, which are punishable by death. After leaving half the town in ruins, the best they could come up with was to tie him with a chain? For heaven's sake! He destroyed half the town and they put him on a leash? As if you were just locking up your bike? And as expected, with the help of a feather, Tai Lung breaks his chains and manages to escape. But along his way, he decided to settle some scores, so all the guards who trained for years to work in that prison, in about 3 seconds, lost their jobs. Darkness, my old friend. And you know what's most pathetic? The Super Prison Company LLC left 1,000 rhinos unemployed. That's right, there were 1,000 guards and the Ching Ching Tiger took care of them all. Well done. Folks, don't forget to eat your calcium fortified Frosties,
so they can be great.
This earns him a 20-year sentence for escaping custody, plus an additional 1,000 death sentences. Maybe Tai Lung does have a heart, because when he faced the Furious Five, thank goodness they didn't end up in the afterlife. He only left them badly battered, useless, and chipped. These crimes add up to a 12-year prison sentence for assault and aggravated assault with bodily harm 6 times. Now, his latest crimes are basically the same but much worse, because they're against the one who fed him, cleaned up his poo-poo, and gave him goodnight kisses. Poor Master Shifu. The old man tried to kill him with various weapons, but when he couldn't, he strangled him, hit him with his staff, and practically beat him up like in wrestling. For all these assaults, Tai Lung gets another 20 years in prison. It's worth mentioning that if it weren't for Po, Master Shifu would have been in bad shape. And finally, we have the fight with Po, which honestly we won't count as a crime, since if we remember correctly, the panda only felt tickles.
Stop it! I'm gonna pee!
Oh, that's it. Bathe the Stiffmeister.
But what we won't forgive him for is for his biggest theft, when he stole the Dragon Warrior scroll. So, for being a thief, he gets another 25 years added to his sentence. And these were all of Tai Lung's crimes. In summary, he has to pay with a death sentence, 1,000 life sentences, and 68 years in prison. To serve this sentence, Tai Lung would have to die once and live for 1,068 consecutive years in prison. May God have mercy on his soul. No. The next villain the Realm of Souls didn't want was none other than the infamous Kai.
Who?
Kai.
This diabolical bully not only attempted several murders, but also stole the souls of almost all the Kung Fu masters. I don't know how to penalize soul theft, but I suppose it has something to do with God? And he'll have to carry the cross 25 times. Yeah, a God punishment. Honestly, I don't remember what the goal of this horned chopster was. We only remember that he wanted to go in the search of the Dragon Warrior, where he committed 2 major crimes: serious assault and trespassing on temple grounds, which is considered trespassing on private property, earning him an additional 12 years in prison. Then he blew up the poor statue of Master Wu. The statue flew like a kite, and with it, he ended up destroying the entire Jade Palace, along with several relics inside. This little stunt cost him a total of $45 million. So the little body owes $45 million and 10 years in prison. The chubby one did hurt the poor panda. So, for how bad he sounded, we'll give him 5 years in prison for assault. In total, all his crimes are... Which means Kai owes $45 million and must spend 627 years in prison. You think these villains can't get any worse, right? Well, I'm sorry to tell you, friends, that you are very wrong. Let's move on to our last and most messed up villain. The famous Lord Shen. Shen? I mean, Shen! This magnificent crested bird at least had more purpose than Kai. You could feel his sadness and thirst for revenge against China and the pandas, which he almost wiped out completely. This crime counts as genocide and is punishable by death. The bird with grandma's clothes is not only ruthless with the pandas, but also with all the other animals that cross his path, such as when he reaches the palace of the legendary masters. Not only did he commit breaking and entering, but also commits second-degree murder 6 times. And it's only been like 20 minutes into the movie. Then he decides to shoot a huge cannon at the palace, almost point blank at Master Rhino. And I don't think poor Master Rhino survived such a cannon shot, because in the end, we only see his hammer stuck in the ground. So Shen just committed first-degree murder, which means he has to pay with 7 death sentences and 22 years in prison. Lord Shen has made several attempts on our favorite panda's life, so let's count together how many times he tried to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6! 6 attempted murders! So this adds up to 6 life sentences. The crazy peacock commits high treason against his own country, as he plans to dominate all of China through fear and weapons, earning him another death sentence. This crime is new to all of us. I know that seeing all these ships, you might not think it's a crime, but we just discovered that yes, friends, this is called insurrection, which is the uprising of rebellion of a people or nation. And this new crime is punishable by just 10 years in prison. Now let's go with the crimes that are repeated several times throughout the movie, such as the destruction of property, for example here, here, and a little more over here. Calculating all the properties Shen destroyed, he would have to pay the magnificent sum of $80 million. And also, throughout the movie, Shen doesn't care who he takes down, whether it's a gardener, a hairdresser, or even his own henchman. That's right! He kills his own henchmen several times, but instead of counting them all, we can charge him with the crime of mass murder, which is punishable by death. That's why I told you this bird is one of the worst. He destroyed, traumatized, and sent a bunch of animals to heaven. In total, all his crimes are... So, the magnificent royal peacock owes a total of $80 million, 3 death sentences, 13 life sentences, and 32 years in prison. And these, my friends, are just the villains from the movies. If we count all the ones from the series, we would never finish. So, if you want to see more of the villain's crimes or see Poe pay for his crimes, leave it in the comments.